Yes.
So Yarde, as I said, Yarde the Benavidez. It's going to be a great fight, but I like Yarde a lot too. The guy I mentioned a little bit earlier, Dennis Humphreys, our guy from Britain. Won the world title 3 separate times, WBC. So Yarde can come again, but I can't see him beating Benavidez. I think Benavidez will do enough to win on points, possibly by 2, 3 rounds, 4 rounds maybe. But and then Benavidez will move onwards and upwards. But as I say, Yarde will come again. But there was some show that happened recently in Riyadh, I believe, the WBC World Boxing Council Grand Prix. If you could tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, Derek Pomelo, has won the semi-final, at Riyadh, about the Grand Prix WBC, against another very good fighter, Carlos Sinistera, He won this fight, by semi-final, and if he won the final is gonna be, at December 20th, at Riyadh. If he won this fight, against his next opponent, I think the name it was Biggs. He's an Australian. The next fighter he's gonna fight, in December. If he won this fight, he gonna gain, he gonna win $1 million, Michael, $1 million, and I have to follow that, and I'm gonna come back to you about it, because I think it's very important for us, Derek Pomelo is a very good fighter, and that's it. I think it's very nice, and we're gonna have, another fight November 14th, Alicia Bob Garner gonna fight Leila Baudouin, Michael. Another very good fight, a feminine fight, and it's going to be it's going to be 12 rounds of boxing, 3 minutes, Michael, 3 minutes in this in this fight. I think it's one of the start of it's going to be even, like a men's fight, 12 rounds of boxing in 3 minutes. Each round. I think it will be terrific, and Leila Baudouin, she's a champion, WBO champion, against, Alicia Bogagner, Michael, and I think it will be a very nice fight. Alicia Bogagner she's the grand champion here. She's very good, So, that's it for that. November 14th. Michael, and for about the fight, Anthony Yarde and Benavidez, I think it's going to be, November 22nd,
All right. That's the anniversary of Mike Tyson winning the world title.
Oh, yeah.
Becoming the longest champion in Trevor Burby. That's some landmark date in boxing history.
Wow. Very good point, Michael.
Yeah, just getting back to Armour, he was hoping to beat Mike's record of 20 years and 4 months or whatever it was. And that obviously never happened. But as I say, he's got plenty of time. Getting back to this Grand Prix in Riyadh, this is by no means an original concept. This was like in the 1950s in this country, in England, we had a promoter called Jack Solomon. He was a great promoter, a legendary promoter. And he had a similar type of thing, but it was all box score in one day. It was like, I believe. And then going forwards then it stopped. Then going forwards to 1993, we had something called the People's Choice Heavyweight Championship Super Fights. And this was in Bay St. Louis in Missouri in America. And it was, I think, 16 various heavyweights. You had guys like former world title challenger Tyrell Biggs, Romanian Daniel Dakuta.
Wow.
I think Tony Tubbs was in it.
Okay.
Former heavyweight champion of the world. Alan Derek Williams, etc., etc. And they boxed all on one day. And it was all in one day. And you had the first 8 guys. They boxed four fights, I think it was, and they boxed each other. The winners of those met into the second round, or quarterfinal, for example, and then you had the semi-final, and then eventually the final, all in one day. And what happened, the eventual winner, I believe it was Tony Tubbs, he got conned of the money. I don't think he received the proper money or something.
No.
It was all the shambles. But then we had another thing. Nothing happened after that. That was just the one-off. And then after that, spinning forward to about 2008, 2009, we had something over here that Barry Earn, it was his brainchild, but again, not an original concept, not an original idea by any means. And he created something called Prize Fighter, and it was the same thing, but it was boxed within a 3-4 hour TV slot. The first round, quarterfinal, semi-finals, and final. And the winner, I believe, won £32,000 English pound, which is
that's nice,
$40,000-$50,000. But so that was another trophy. But this is, you say, $100,000. That's good money, and this is obviously being boxed over a series of time. But as I say, this one was all condensed into one day. But
$1 million, Michael.
It's good for boxing.
$1 million. It's a lot, you know. Wow. I had the chance to interviewing this gentleman. You know, I made an interview with Derek Pamelo twice.
Yes.
And he's a very good gentleman, you know. He's down to earth, this gentleman, you know. And I think he will be. We will see the gentleman, you know, and professional, you know, big league, you know. He's a professional, you know, but we'll see him, you know, as a champion. This guy, and you know, another guy, you know, Wilkins Mathieu. I think it will be one of the best champion, I think, in the world, you know. And you know what? I compared, you know, those two fighters, Derek Pomelo and Wilkins Mathieu, two wonderful fighters we're gonna see, you know, as a champion. I'm sure of that. So I just want to tell it, you know, to the people who watched our show, Michael. So a very important point about it. Good luck to Derek Pomelo, you know. So that's it for that.
Yes. Do you think he will win the fight in December?
Yes, I think he will win this fight against Biggs. I think he's an Australian fighter, but the opponent is very strong also, you know. Powerful fighter. I think it will be a very good boxing show, you know, a very good showdown on December 20th of December. So stay tuned about it.
Plus, we've also got the big one next month. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank #2.
I like those gentlemen, you know. I think it will be a very nice fight. I know Ben, you know. I think I know this gentleman. He's down to earth also. He's very intelligent, you know. Yes, he was in the controversy. Everybody knows that, you know. But you know, that's life. That's life, and we have to give a second chance, you know, to a fighter. I think it's important, and I like this gentleman. I like his father also. I like Chris Eubank. I like the father also, Chris Eubank Senior. I think it's very good people, you know, and it will be a very great fight. I think, Michael. What do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk more in depth about that more near the time. But this. Conor Benn, I mean, the last fight with Eubank Jr. I mean, I thought there were still a few little bits and pieces. I weren't too sure about Ben, you know, his punch resistance, because he had been, I think, floored once or wobbled. But he ticked a lot of boxes for me in that fight with Eubank Jr. He showed so much heart. He was relentless. He was, you know, I mean, against a naturally bigger man, he showed just how strong he is. You know, that's very, you know, that's a very demanding thing to go head on for 12 rounds against a much bigger guy.
Sorry, Michael. I think it was a rehydration fight, eh? The weights are controlled, eh? Yes. So for Eubank, it was not a good thing for Eubank. He was too skinny for this fight.
I heard rumours. I think they're just rumours, but let's hope it doesn't happen again. And because I don't like to see a boxer put in that position, because it's a dangerous enough sport.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, absolutely. Dangerous enough alone. I mean, you know, you're getting a guy going in there, you're You know, the guy's been punched in the head 100 times, 1,000 times through the evening, maybe 2,000 times. And
I think the father was not agree about this fight. The father was not agree. He was mad about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but we just lost one son. He died in I think it was an accident on a beach. He drowned. And then he's got, I think he's got this one son, he's got a daughter also, Eubank Senior. And, you know, it's his baby, it's his son, it's his flesh and blood being put at risk for what? A fight. So, you know, it's no sport is bigger or more important than that person's life or any person's life. I mean, we're talking, being humane. You know, boxing is not a humane sport. You know, no. It's saved life, but it's just one of those. It's what it is, and you know, I don't like to use that.
Michael,
it is what it is.
If I can allow something, you know, I think the referee, you know, we got a lot of good human referee, you know, and they follow the fight and they know the right time to stop the fight, you know, as it's possible to.
I've seen some referees who have let fights go on far too long. I won't mention names. Very well-known referee, but then I've seen him also stop fights very soon. And this is an American guy. I won't mention names. I think a lot of people know what I mean. But yeah, this is something definitely needs to be addressed. I know it should be happening, but let's hope it's not happening again. And Eubank Jr. is not put in the same position, the same situation of having to lose weight. It's wrong on all levels. And let's hope that he's allowed to come in at his natural weight. And if Ben, he proved the point. Now let's see how he goes against the fully fledged, proper bona fide super middleweight in Chris Eubank Jr. You know, let's see how he fares. You know, maybe it was a matter of, though he won the fight, it was a matter of how bad Eubank Jr. performed on the night because of the weight. So he performed good, but maybe if he had come in at super middleweight, natural weight, and there was none of this dehydration, whatever you call it, clause, he would have maybe beaten Ben a lot clearer. Maybe he'd stopped him. Who knows? I'm not saying he would have done, because Ben, he's got a big arm. It's a great fight, just like his father.
I think personally, I think he will be better, you know, in the second fight. I think against Eubanks, and Eubanks, I think is going to be a better one also. But I don't know about the weight. I think they got an agreement, you know, about the weight together, because I think Chris Eubank doesn't want to fight, you know, at 160. I think.
It should not have happened in the first place, you know, in the first instance, that this should not have happened. And it was all, some are saying, oh yeah, but he signed the contract. Yes, but he wasn't the one who instigated this. It was the promoter. You know, he instigated this. Eddie Hearn, to get it down. This is me talking, and, you know, about this. It's not attached to Richard, it's attached to me. So, he should have not put Eubank in that predicament. He knows all too well it's a dangerous game, and yeah, he was playing Russian roulette with Chris Eubank Jr. as far as I'm concerned, and I believe that he needs to lay off Eubank, let Eubank come in as a fully at his natural weight, super middle, none of this rehydration, losing weight clause. And let's see how good Conor Ben performs against a proper, fully fledged, properly strong Chris Eubank Jr. Let's see. And, you know, I believe what will happen, irrespective of whether he beats Eubank, if he beats Eubank, that's, you know, whatever the weight's going to be, let's hope it's properly at super middle to catch weight. Let's hope he can come up with, I don't know, middle, and Eubank Senior Juniors at super middle. But if he wins, it looks like then he will be going, staying at his natural weight at welterweight, and he could go for the WBC version of that world title, or a world title at welterweight.
Who's going to win this fight, Michael?
As for Eubank Jr., it's been, I believe, what I heard, he may well be going after the undisputed super middleweight champion, Terence Crawford. But I don't think he's going to be Crawford somehow. But You never know. Boxing, it's unpredictable.
No. I think I don't want to disrespect this gentleman. You know, I like Chris Eubank Jr., but I think Crawford, he's a legend of boxing. I think.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I knew he was going to beat Canelo, and he made Canelo look average. Canelo has still got plenty left in the tank. He's got plenty more fights in him.
Canelo, he's got the best chin in the circuit, Michael. He's got a very good chin.
Canelo, yeah. But he's not as good chin-wise as Matthew Wilbur.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that fight, it was, for me, a walk in the park for Crawford. You know, he just made it look so easy. I mean, I had him winning 8 rounds of that fight. I gave 4 rounds to Canelo. I mean, it weren't even close. I mean, there was no... To me, when I was listening to the decision, because I got live for it, lucky, and I just thought to myself, you know what? I can see this going the other way. He's won the fight, but I can just see a robbery. And when they announced that he was the winner, I thought, brilliant, great, at last. You know, they've you know, at last, it's not a business, it's a sport, and that's how it should be. You know, I know it's about money, but sports is what it is. It's not.
Michael, I respect what you said, but I don't agree with that. I think it was not a walk in the park for Crawford. This fight, Canelo. I think Canelo. It's Canelo. You know, he's a legend of boxing, and I think I don't know if we're going to have the possibility to see a second fight, Michael, but if we have this opportunity, you know, I think Canelo will be better, you know, and it's good to defeat sometimes. It's good to defeat, you know. You're better after, you know. You learn a lot in a defeat, Michael.
So you said before in the previous episode, the previous podcast episode, I said, you know, it'd be good to have this kind of on neutral territory. Though it'd be sort of like, it's in South America, and they could put it in Brazil, not Mexico, not in America.
You don't agree with Mexico? My friend told me that. Michael Angelo Serra told me one of the best places, it's Mexico, and I think I agree with that.
Yes, Mexico, yes, but the Aztec Stadium. But the Maracana in Brazil has 200,000 capacity. It's the world's largest stadium, largest stadium. And
you know, Michael, if you want to broad, you know, a showdown, you know, some place, you know, you have to have some interest, you know.
Absolutely.
So in Mexico, you told me that, and I think it's a very good idea, you know, because the interest is there. Is there, Michael?
In Mexico, yes, but the Mexicans will go to Brazil. It's near enough next door. It's South America, because we don't want Crawford going into the Lions Den. Though Canelo did it in America, but he's in Vegas. So Canelo with his Vegas connections. But will Crawford have that same sort of protection as Canelo had in Vegas? Will he have that in a ballroom somewhere in Mexico? I don't think so. So if the decision goes to Canelo and Crawford's well won it, which I think he will again, probably even easier. But then we get back to the old, he got robbed.
But
put it in Brazil, put it in Brazil, it's South American territory. There isn't necessarily going to be, you know, that in the Lions Den. But the Mexicans can come cheer on their guy Canelo, and the Americans can get to Brazil. So I think the stadium, Azteca, I mentioned before, it holds 130,000 people. Now, that was for the Greg Alger on that. It was actually more like 180,000. A lot of them were bunking in. A lot of them were getting in, paying $1 like $1 or whatever, to go and sit in the Everest and to watch this great fight unfold. So unofficially, it was 180,000. Officially, it's 130,000. But irrespective of that, the 180,000, there was a lot of people breaking health and safety laws back then. In the Maracana, it is a 200,000 stadium capacity. So there's no health and safety laws being broken, and you're guaranteed 130 in Azteca, but you're guaranteed 200,000 in the Maracana.
The first question, Michael. The first question. Sorry, I just want to allow something.
That makes sense.
The first question we have to answer, you have to ask, is do we have a political stability in this country? We don't know. We don't know.
In Brazil.
In Brazil. You know, I think it's important, you know, to have stabilities, you know, when you make a showdown somewhere, you know. And I don't think, you know, in Brazil presently, you know, we got a very good situation, political situation. I don't know, but it's a very good idea, your point, Michael. Very good idea.
Yeah, I think, you know, you're 70,000 fans up. That's 70,000. You know, that's massive.
Yes.
You know, over here we had Kawasaki Kessler, that got like, I don't know how many thousand fans, and you had 80,000 for Swatch and Grove.
Good idea.
But 200,000 is amazing. And I believe it would take 200,000 people.
Yeah.
200,000 people would go to that. And obviously, you got them, obviously, you know, it would generate a lot of interest, it would generate a lot of money. I don't think it would generate as much interest as the first one, because for me, I know you don't agree with this, which is fair enough, but for me, it was a walk in the park for Crawford. He won the fight, and he won it fairly easily for me.
You know, Michael, the difference of blows between those two fighters, the difference of blows, it's only 16 blows, you know, between those two fighters. And it's not a lot, you know.
Well,
if you see, you know, the statistics, you know, there, you will see that. 10 minutes. Well, 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
From what I saw, statistics or not statistics, he won that fight big for me, and I had it 8 minutes before.
I agree. He won this fight. Yes, Michael. Yes.
But yeah, he won it easily for me. But a second fight, he hasn't got that intrigue. He won it so easy. But if you put it in the right place, and it's got to happen within the next year, while it's still in people's minds, they're fresh in their memories.
I think it will be at Cindy de Mayo, I think, for this fight. I think the weekend of Cindy de Mayo. Yes.
That's just an idea I'm banding about what I'm saying, you know, the Americana. But again, you could have it probably in Los Angeles. You know, there's a massive Mexican following there. And obviously, he's American. So, yeah, Crawford.
Or maybe in Montreal. The Olympic Stadium in Montreal, like Durant and Leonard.
Yeah, you know the Ilwins, the fighting Ilwins, Matthew, Davey, Stuart, Govestin, Alex, they, back in 83, maybe 84, they were there, I weren't there. But they was boxing 6-round fights. 6-round fights in front of 20,000 fans. And they weren't going for the main event. These fans were going to see the Iltons. Not just Matthew, Davey, all of them. They were going to see them. They were the draw.
They was very popular.
Oh, very popular. You know, and people, fight fans now, going up, they should not forgive this fighting family. In my opinion, they're the best fighting family ever.
I agree with you. You know. And I made a chronicle about his father, you know. I made a chronicle with his father, you know, about Cassius Clay. Cassius Clay, you know, and another very good gentleman, good fighter, you know. And there's legend. There's legend, you know. Davidson Senior, you know. Cassius Clay.
He's a legend.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's a family legend.
Yeah, he's not just a Canadian. Yeah, he's not just a Canadian boxing legend. He is a world boxing legend, a legend of world boxing.
Absolutely.
You know, he is iconic. Dave Hilton Sr. You know, he was a guy. He was a no-nonsense guy. Just like, you know, we were talking before about other episodes, Enzo Kawasaki, Jimmy Tibbs. He had that same mentality, that same, come on, get up and go. And that's what he instilled into his sons from an early age. And it was, you know, they were just boxing in these shows, 6-rounders. And there were 20,000 fans. I mean, quietly, if they could have gone into football stadiums and probably filled them up. probably 40 pounds. All for 6-round fights. So they would look amazing.
But I have a question, Michael, between you and me. You know.
Yes.
We know that Enzo Calzaghe was not very was sad, you know, when his son said, "Daddy, I can't fight anymore." You know. I can't, you know, I don't have the will, you know, to fight again, you know. I'm gonna stop it, you know, at 46 fight, and I will no longer do to be in the ring again, you know. And his father Enzo was sad about it, you know. But why not three other? It was only 3 fights, you know, to equal, you know, the record of Rocky Marciano, you know.
I talked to him. I spoke to Joe Calzaghe in person about this. I met him just after he beat Kessler. He was at this signing thing, like this meet and greet.
But I think he had a problem with his hand, you know. He had a problem with his hand. His hand was hurt.
Big time. Yes, big time. But I said, why don't you go after the Marciano record, and then you can chuck in about 4 or 5 more defences. And he said, it's not about that. It's not about that whatsoever. He said, I don't want to fight super middle anymore. I want to go up to light heavy. And it's not about breaking their records. I don't want to break their records. I just want to cement my legacy, and that's what he did. His legacy.
He did well.
And that's it. I don't want to be. I think, as far as what I remember him saying, I don't want to be mentioning the same reference then. You know, because when you talk to Joe Calzaghe, he's very. I was at another thing, an evening with him once, and he was saying, they was all saying, "Oh, how about if you, like people in the audience, you got sugar up?" He said, "Man," because this is the way he talks. He would have smashed me to bits, you know, because it's Calzaghe. So he does sort of like, he's not big-headed or anything, but he said it was never about breaking anyone's records. He set his own record at super middle winning out for most defences, but he did not want to touch Louis. He did not want to touch Marciano's record. It's the way he came across when he spoke to me. It's like he felt embarrassed by even being mentioned in the same reference. But he's a very down-to-earth, humble guy, Joe Calzaghe. And I've met him 2 times. And as he said it's about his own legacy, not about others. So, you know, but yes, he was so near, but he wasn't so far away from those records. But as I say, in his mind, he didn't want to. He just wanted to do his own thing and not touch any of their records. He wanted Marciano to have his 49-0 intact. Though Mayweather didn't think that, he went up to 50. But, you know, at the end of the day, even if he had gone to 49, 50 and 0, 51 and 0 even Calzaghe, you know, Marciano's record still stands because he's an heavyweight, Marciano.
No.
Not Joe isn't, you know, and neither is Floyd.
You know, it's a very good point what you doing. Yeah. It's a very good point. Yes. So the show is finished, Michael.
Okay, that's fine. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I've got to keep it real. I've got to go to my evening job.
Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you, my friend. Bye-bye.
Yeah, keep safe.
Bye-bye.
Keep safe. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, gentlemen.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.